you struggle with time management and productivity, then this video is not only going to change your business, but it's actually going to change your life. Today, I'm bringing on a good business partner of mine, Lewi Gault, who breaks down exactly how to create and design a calendar and a daily schedule that guarantees that you move the needle of your business every single day. But not only that, he gives you a number of ninja tricks of how to hack different platforms in order to make sure that you don't get distracted by things like social media, in order to make sure that you're staying hyper focused on the tasks and the income needle moving activities that keep your business growing. This is going to be a game changer for agents because so many people say that they get caught up being busy, they're distracted, they're going in too many different directions and they can't stay focused. Well, if that's you, then by the end of this video, your life is about to change. So I'm really excited to bring on Lewi and share with you his presentation from a virtual event that we recently did in order to give you the blueprint of how you can structure your day to guarantee you win every single day and lead up to smashing your goals by the end of this year. Now, if this type of content interests you, I'm going to link Lewi's channel in the description below. Make sure you check his channel out after this video because every week he uploads videos sharing all types of ninja tricks and hacks to make your business scale and to save you extraordinary amounts of time so that you can not only build a thriving business, but also have time to enjoy the fruit of your labor. So without further ado, let's bring on Lewi and show you how to design the perfect day as a realtor.
Well, hopefully the amount of stuff that you've learned, obviously bringing this full circle, like how do we actually put this all into our business? How do we actually scale this stuff? Well, it's all about your time and how you effectively use it. And, you know, this is what we're going to be jumping into today in terms of how we manage time and how we go through it. So I'll give you a brief introduction of kind of who I am, you know, and how I kind of became obsessed with this topic. You know, I got into real estate about 6 years ago, became a top producing agent, whatever that means these days. I feel like everyone is. But what I found was that I was going from sunup to sundown. And I was working all day, every day. And I had this hustle culture that we, you know, are ingrained in now. And what I found was I was super busy all the time, but I was hardly ever productive. And actually how I came about discovering this topic and becoming so obsessed with it is that I woke up one night and had a panic attack about how I was losing connection with my oldest kid. I have a beautiful wife and two boys. And I felt like I was losing connection with them. And it really freaked me out because I didn't want to be that guy. And because of that, I really went on like a 2-year journey of like what I can do to fix this, how I can still have a productive real estate business, but also be all the other things that I want to be. So here's what we're going to dive into, guys. I know we're short on time. Speaking of the subject, got about 30 minutes here, but we're going to break into 3 categories of how I look at time and how I have my relationship with time. So the first one is going to be how to expand time, how to get more done in less time. The second one is going to be how to block time. I'm going to jump into my Google Calendar setup, show exactly how we do this. The third one is going to be how to protect time. And then I'm going to give you all the tools and resources to do all 3. Now, a lot of this we're going to kind of skim over because we could spend a lot of time in each one. So, you know, you'll get an email after this course today with links to tutorials and downloads from me. So all that stuff will be here. So don't stress if you're like, how do I even do this? Don't worry, you don't have to worry about it. We're going to send you all of this. So like I said, guys, who the hell am I? Well, here's what I want to show you. And the reason I'm saying all this is not braggy or whatever. I just want to show you that I'm like you. We're all super busy. So like I said, you know, busy real estate agent. I coach real estate agents, but I'm a dedicated husband. I'm a full-time father. I'm a business owner. I'm a competitive Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu athlete. I'm a coach in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I create content. I have, you know, well, I need to update that now. Over 110 agents that I work with every single day. A motorcycle enthusiast, a musician. So I have a lot going on, as you do, right? We all do. So the key here is that a lot of us have been taught that being a realtor is like your main identity. And I'm here to tell you that that's bullshit. It's not. Being a realtor is awesome, but it's the part of you that feeds everything else. It feeds all the other things that are important to you in your life. And that's what we're going to be diving into here. So the key takeaway from today that I want you to come away with is that time is the most precious resource. It cannot be bought. It cannot be given back. You can never, ever get more of it. You just have the time that you're gifted. So it's the most precious resource. Don't forget that. What you do with your time in the present defines what you will be able to do with your time in the future. I'll say that again. What you do with your time in the present right now defines what you will be able to do with it in the future. All right. So personal accountability, just like we were talking with George there about, we own all of our own time. Whether you like it or not, at any given moment, you're doing what you most want to be doing. Now, you might say, well, not really. I need to take my kids to school every day. I need to do this. I need to do X, Y, Z. But what that's telling you is that that's where your priorities lie. And your priorities are what you want to be doing. So if it's taking the kids to school, yeah, my priorities are my kids. So what you do at any time is decided by you and no one else. And if you don't believe me, you can change anything. If it's a job that you're in, you're just like, oh, I have to beat my work, I hate it. You can do something about that. Now, is there consequences for it? Yes, but you can do something about how you spend your time. Your time is entirely within your control. If you don't have the time to do something, that thing is not a priority. Now, this might be a hard lesson. I had to learn it myself. Trust me. We're one and the same here, right? So the biggest thing that I found for myself was I was telling myself stories that I was so busy that I couldn't do other things. And basically what it comes down to was I was lying. I was lying to myself. I was lying to my family. I was controlling time in the way that I wanted to, and we all have this like hustle culture now that's built in, and it's brutal. So big combat sports fan for me, obviously one of the best boxers of all time. He says, I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. So what does that mean? It's the discipline that you have to have in how you're spending your time is going to push you to the future that you want to see. So we find ourselves all over the place. We're driving to clients. We're doing this, we're doing that. If you have the discipline in what you're doing, that is what's going to drive it. Just like George talks about with the client journey, everything that you do in there, everything that you put together, it's a grind, it's hard. But if you put that time in, that's how you're going to see the success. Last part here, I just want to say before we dive into the actual tools and training, this is what I'm talking about. Busy versus productive. If like we could close right now, busy versus productive. That's all you need to think about. Am I being busy or am I being productive? A lot of people think this is the same thing, and it's absolutely not. I could be busy all day, every day from sunup, driving here and there, doing this, meeting coffee, meeting lenders, meeting agents, whatever. And at the end of the day, if I look back and take stock of what I've actually done, has it been a producing day? Have I been productive? No. It seems like being busy right now is like a badge of honor. If you go on Instagram or TikTok, it's agents like hustle mode, can't stop, won't stop. I don't have a 9 to 5. I have a 24/7. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. But I used to subscribe to it when I started, and you can go on my Instagram. I don't delete stuff. You can scroll down on my Instagram and you'll see like a slow motion video of me like walking with sunglasses to like a BMW. It's all cliche. And I think the caption's something like hustling, and it's like, oh, that is so embarrassing. So just know that, squeezing work into every single minute and being busy is not the same as being productive. So let's jump in, guys. So what we're going to look first at, the first part of this, the first concept is how to expand time. So the Eisenhower Matrix is a big thing that I use all the time. I probably do this once every quarter these days, but I used to do it once a month to reflect on what I was doing. So the concept here is how do I get the most out of my time that I'm using? I can't do everything, but a lot of us try to, right? A lot of us try to do every single thing in our business. We struggle to give up control. We struggle to just delete things that aren't serving us. So this is a really important tool to do. And you can just write this on a piece of paper and draw this out. So the Eisenhower Matrix, really, every single task that you're doing, you can put this into one of 4 categories. It's either important and urgent. Or it can be important and not urgent. It can be not important and urgent. And it can be not important and not urgent. Now, what do we do with these things? Well, the not important, not urgent stuff, you want to eliminate that. That's the stuff you need to get rid of your life. That's the stuff that's dragging you down, and you do not need to spend any time on this. I'll give you some examples in just a minute here. Not important, but urgent, that's the stuff you need to delegate. Things that you don't have to do yourself. Other people can do it for you. Okay, important and not urgent, that's the stuff that you have to decide. That's a judgment call on you. And then important, urgent is stuff that you can do only. Okay, so let's look at some examples right here. Okay, big one, not important, not urgent, social media. Absolutely not urgent. Now, let's preface this because we've spent a couple of hours talking about social media here. That it doesn't mean using it for business. Posting, like I'm on there every day. If you look at me, I have my entire month of February scheduled out now on social media, ready to roll on every platform. But I'm not on there scrolling. And this is what I'm talking about. If you're in that doom scroll, you're wasting your time. You're wasting everyone's time, and it's completely a poison that really separates people who are hyper productive than people who are just, stuck in there and they get that shiny object syndrome where they're just like, oh, well, I'll just scroll a little bit. I'll click on this. I'll click on this. Social media has to go. Okay. So eliminate that. Most meetings, you can eliminate those too. So now, what does this mean? It means meetings with lenders. They always want to take you to lunch, title reps, all that stuff. If we really are honest with ourselves and we just don't tell the lenders and stuff, those meetings are a waste of time. They all are. It's a free lunch. I love a good free lunch. Love it. I love food. But I don't love it enough to waste an hour of my time just listening to, oh, we've got this package and we've got that package. So does everyone else. Doesn't matter. So don't waste your time with those meetings. Okay, not important and urgent. This is things we want to delegate. So how about MLS inputs for listings? Have a TC that puts that in for you. Contracts, you can also outsource that. Video editing is a huge one. Video editing, like we were talking about with Mike at the start, that's the biggest time sucker of content and making it, is like editing it all. The creative process of filming it is pretty quick once you get used to it, but the editing part is tough. So delegate that. Then, like I said, you got to decide what is important and not urgent to you. And then important and urgent, I think it's speaking on the phone with clients for sure, the deep work that only you can do, the client work that only you can do, and then in-person events if you're, meeting clients or networking or whatever that looks like for you. So definitely draw that out, try it out. Just write in, you can even take a week and just write down all the things that you've done within the week, put it in these different boxes, and then you can move forward from there. The next concept here in terms of expanding time is Parkinson's Law. Now, Parkinson's Law basically says the work expands to the time that we allocate to it. So a lot of us will put like no deadline on what we're doing. You might be like, okay, well, I'm going to go to the office today and I'm going to do like a CMA for this client. Okay, cool. So you go to the office, you get there, you make coffee. Oh, there's Jim. Okay, I'll go and chat with Jim. Cool. Okay, well, what's happening next? Oh, wait, I've got all these emails. Let me do these emails. Okay, well, now we're like 2 hours into our day and we still haven't done this. It's ridiculous. So Parkinson's Law dictates how long things are going to take. So that CMA that you put in your calendar as you were going to do it first is now taking you 3 hours to even get to it. So we need to shorten those deadlines and put it there. So what might take you 3 hours to do, you need to absolutely shrink that and put it in like a 30-minute or even a 15-minute time frame so you can get there and be like, boom, I got 15 minutes, CMA done. That is the difference between being busy and productive. You have to make sure that you put artificial deadlines on the things that you're doing because they supersede to-do lists. If you just write a list of things to do, but you don't put deadlines on them, that is how you are going to have a tough time being productive. So here's the tool that I use to be hyper productive and how to expand my time. So Mike and I are in a mentorship group called RT Syndicate. It's run by Andy Frisella and Ed Milet. Life-changing place to be, amazing teaches. But one of the biggest things that Andy does is the power list, and he uses this himself. He's worth billions of dollars, and he still uses this to this day. So what this is instead of waking up with no direction of what you're doing or filling out a calendar with like just, 15-minute increments of like everything like that, you know as well as I do that your day gets disrupted. It's a nightmare. It's challenging. Clients call, deals are blown up. All of a sudden, you haven't got to half these things and you've set little timeframes for them that can be super challenging. So the power list is something that I use. Think about this. All you're going to do is every day, you're going to write down 5 tasks that you're going to achieve that day. Now, they don't have to be huge things, okay? They're not like build a new website. That's not one of those tasks. But it can be like something towards that, like, hey, research domain names and whatever. I'm going to show you some examples in just a minute here. But 5 tasks that are just needle moving tasks to get your business to the next day. Okay. That's all you have to do. Now, if you think about this, how many things you actually get done right now? Maybe 1, maybe 2, who knows what that looks like. But if you definitely got 5 things done every single day from Monday through Friday for your business, that's 100 tasks every single month that now You've checked off your business. Boom, I've done 100 tasks to move my business forward. Okay, if I do that all year, that's 1,200 tasks that you've just done. Boom, solid. And I've won the day, and I've done 1,200 tasks that have moved my business forward. So now I can look back at my year and be like, dude, I did all this stuff, and this is why I'm here. So I've started using this process for the last 2 years probably, and it's changed the entire way that my business even operates. Because what you can do is you can laser focus on just those tasks and not be all over the place with everything that you're trying to do. So let me show you the tool that I'm going to give you. Again, you'll get this email to you. So I built this out on a free tab here on Trello. It's a completely free system and all that good stuff. I'll send this to you, but I want to show you how this kind of works, right? So basically what I teach it to do is to have, I subscribe to the 12-week year. It's a book. If you've never read it, the 12-week year is amazing. And what happens is I set 4 goals per quarter. Okay. So this is like an example one for like Q3 last year. Okay. And it doesn't all have to be business related. So let's see, weekly family check-in. I want to make sure that I'm checking in with my family, my kids, make sure everyone's good to go. Top 100 is a marketing strategy that we work with. Media plan and execution, I'm building out a new system for that. And then weekly accounting, keeping on tab of what my spending is, what my P&L is and stuff like that. Now, if you just had this stuff and didn't have any direction, chances are that you wouldn't really get to much of it unless it was pressing, right? That's why we get to we do goal setting workshops and stuff like that. And then towards, the end of the goal, you're like, oh shit, I haven't done anything for this. But if you do it systematically like this and add them into your power lists, then you're going to smash these goals every single time you do it. And that's how you can beat everyone. You beat your competition because you're crushing goals every single quarter, while your competition is taking a year plus to do the same thing. So basically what we do here, we put a list of tasks down here, and then you'll just add them to the day, and you'll just add them in and check them off as completed. And they can either match up to all of your goals here, or they can be different stuff like, client showings or whatever that looks like. Now, like I said, I'm not going to dive too deep into this because I'm about halfway through already, but I have a YouTube video detailing this complete tutorial on how to use this, and you've got a free download there as well. But just know that this is how I expand time. Is how I get more done than anyone I know. I have this picture right here in the background, outwork everyone. A lot of people think, oh, you must wake up at 4 a.m. and, go till whenever. It's like, no. I'm just smart. I do what I need to do. I know that those needle moving things are going to get me to the next level, and I execute. And that's what this is all about. So expanding time is a huge part of what I do. Okay, back to the presentation, guys. So that was the power list. Now, the second concept here is, power list walkthrough, I did that, is how to block time. This is a huge one for me. And it's a big one because, like I said at the start, this is how I came into this whole time, being a bit of a freak about my time, because I knew that I wasn't dictating my own time. Everyone else was. If you don't fill your time, other people will fill it for you. So time blocking for me, anytime that we need to do something, we put a block for it on the calendar. Okay. Every single thing, anytime I say I'm going to do anything, boom, I put it on the calendar so it's there. And I do this with everything. I'm going to show you in just a minute what that looks like. The other big thing for me in terms of blocking time is it's got to be a hell yeah, or it's going to be a no. Now, what do I mean by that? Prioritizing how you spend your time and who gets access to you is the big one here. So you have to control the way that you operate by answering that simple question. If someone asks you, hey, can you do this? Or do you want to do this? If it's a hell yeah, this is going to get me closer to my goals. Absolutely. Let's go. If it doesn't, then no. That's why I don't really answer any phone calls from lenders. I have 100 missed calls from all the lenders in my local market because I know what they're up to. And I've got no time for that. It doesn't serve me in the slightest. So do you really want to do it? You have to be okay saying no to things. We're people pleasers, we really are. Like realtors, we have just this enormous sense of having to say yes to everything. Oh, I'm available 24/7. Just let me know what you want. No, that's not the way to operate. And you'll see when I show you in my Google Calendar here, how I go about doing that. So let's pull into Google Calendar right here. I'm going to show you, close this one, my setup here. So this is this week. So I'm live time going to show you exactly what my calendar looks like. So you'll see on the left here, and again, guys, this Google Calendar setup, I have an entire tutorial of how to do this. So don't stress about all this stuff quite yet. I'll send you the link and you can check this out, okay? So I have all these side calendars built into my one single calendar, all right? Now, how do we start going? I start with the non-negotiables. Now, this is something that I can't tell you what this is. You have to decide this for yourself. Your non-negotiables are the most important things to you. Like, they have to be the things that you're just like, no, I have to do this. That can be work related, absolutely. It could be client related, absolutely. It can be family related. It can be health related, whatever that looks like to you. But if it's a non-negotiable, it never moves, and you have to say no every time. So let's pull up my non-negotiables for the week. So let me walk you through a couple of these. Every morning, we go a dog walk in the morning. Me and Mackenzie take the dogs out a walk. Why? Because my non-negotiable is time with my wife. If we get this done in the morning, I know I'm set up for the day because we talk about life, we talk about everything that's going on. We do this 5 times a week. Again, it's huge, okay? So that's a non-negotiable for me. The next one here is social media check-in. I told you guys I don't spend a ton of time on social media, but I spend 15 minutes in the morning making sure that all my posts have gone out correctly, because I schedule everything and I make sure it's all ready to automate and go out. But I want to make sure that like everything went in properly. Sometimes the spacing and stuff can be off. So I just go in here, I check it, I check any DMs that are relevant, and I'll get back to them. And that's it, 15 minutes for the day, and I'm out. The next one here, we had a good laugh on this. I was doing this presentation for another group through the week here. I have chores on here. And again, I'll tell you why. I have 15 minutes of chores every single day. Why? Because it's my wife's love language. If I do stuff around the house, it helps her. She notices it, you know, and it's a big one for me. I'm such a big picture person. My brain is all over the place all the time that I just forget to pick things up, forget to do things. So if it's a little piece on my calendar that says, hey, get your shit together, help your wife out, this goes a long way. Husbands, take note of that one. Okay, that's that one. And then I film content every day too. I'm not sure. Oh, it's I have a conflict in these 2 days here, but I film content every day. Mike is amazing at batching content. He time blocks this way better than I do, because he batches it all. He'll like knock out like what Mo was saying. You know, he batches like 40 pieces of short form content at once. I don't have the brain capacity to do that. Like, I just don't. I'm really good at just doing one video every single day, and I know that's enough for me to build up. So that's the way I do things. Then last one's here. My oldest son has basketball on Tuesday nights. That's non-negotiable for me. I need to be there. I journal with my youngest son on Fridays. That is non-negotiable. I do a weekly reflection every Sunday morning. And then I have a budget meeting with my wife every Sunday morning too. So those are non-negotiables. That's how you want to start out with your calendar, and everything else can start to move around this. So let's start adding more stuff in here and see what happens here. My first calendar here is GSD. This is Get Shit Done calendar. This is just different things that are going on. You can see the virtual event we're at right now is in here. I've got a big event tomorrow that I'm going to. There's all this different stuff in here. Perfect. Okay, a content calendar. I have a collab video coming out with my business partner, Peter, here. Let's see. I'm going to get to this one last. I'll show you why. This is my team calendar, a bunch of stuff that I do. This is agent calls that I have through the week, client calendar, personal development. This is my family calendar, Gault HQ. I'll keep that off for now. And then this is the most important one right here, guys. Now, it's my workout calendar, but it's also my block off calendar. And I'll show you why this is so important. When I click this, boom, whoa, you can see how much black stuff came up there. Why is this important? I'll show you why. Because typically I start every single morning working out, jiu-jitsu or lifting or whatever that looks like, which is great. But you'll see here, 7 to 8:30 a.m., boom, I block it off. I'm not talking to anyone. I don't care who you are. If you're a client, you're an agent, you're a lender, you're a title rep, I don't answer my phone. I'm not talking to you right now, because I go home, I get my kids ready for school, I take them out, I take them to school, I do my thing, I come back, I have coffee with Mackenzie, and then we take the dogs a walk. I'm not going to talk to you, okay? And then at the bottom here, you can see same thing. I block it off from 6 to 9 every night, because that's family time, that's dinner time, hanging out, getting the kids to bed, all that good stuff, okay? And then you see on the weekends, I don't work on Sundays. It's just something that I don't do. So the reason that I put this stuff in my calendar is twofold. I put it in my calendar so that it reminds me that I have obligations, and that's a big part of what I'm doing. The other part is a kind of a trick. So if someone calls me or says, hey, can we talk here? Can we have a meeting here? Can we do this? I say, sorry, I've actually got a conflict in my calendar right there. So we could do it tomorrow at 2:00 if that works for you. I'm not lying. I do have a conflict in my calendar, but it's an easy way to navigate around this. The other part for this, guys, is setting expectations with your clients. Like George said, that customer journey part of it, setting them up for success is awesome. One of the first conversations I have with any client is my boundaries. I say, hey, listen, I'm a family guy. Like, I love what I do. I'm good at what I do, but I'm also a great father and a good husband. So I don't work in the morning until 8:30 a.m. And then after 6 p.m., my phone's off. I'm not going to respond unless it's an emergency going on. And then Sundays, I don't work. So if there's an emergency, we can figure it out. If you need to see homes on a Sunday, I'll have my showing assistant show you those homes. No problem at all. Any other time of the week, I'm all in. But those times are my personal times that I will not shift. And what actually happens with this, guys, is clients respect that. Believe it or not, you don't have to say yes to everything. Like I said, you can say no. And when you give those boundaries, they're like, all right, that's pretty cool. Especially because Mackenzie and I, my wife, we work with young families typically. That's our kind of demographic. So they get it. And a lot of times their calendar is as similar to ours. So this is a very, very important part of blocking time. It's all dictated by you. You have to figure out what those non-negotiables are and what you care about truly, and that's how your calendar goes. If your calendar is blank, your day is going to be a nightmare. Either going to be the most unproductive day you've ever had, or it's going to be chaos with clients. So that is the time blocking aspect here. And then let's dive in. Last thing I'm going to jump in. You all right there, Mike? We got time?
Yeah, I think we got about 5 minutes before we need to get Alexa up here.
Cool. All right, let me jump into this last point real quick and then we'll get moving. So last one, guys, like I said, that was time blocking. Last one is protecting your time. Now we'll just kind of breeze through this. Protecting your time. Why do we do this? Because your day is filled with things that people will push into it if you don't dictate it yourself. Like I said, kind of like blocking time, you have to protect it. I could go on a whole rant right here. This could be an hour-long slide right here, but the generations before us, they had a few different inputs in their life, right? They had like the news, like the radio, the TV, like newspapers, and like word of mouth, right? Whatever it wasn't crazy. Now think about the amount of feeds that you have coming into your life every single day. Social media, group text, news, podcasts, like emails, like it's absolute chaos. We live in an age of an infinite supply of information. So how do we protect ourselves against that so we can be productive? Because you know what it's like. You get one DM on Instagram, you click it, all of a sudden you've been in there for 20 minutes and you're completely wasting your time. So your willpower doesn't have to work overtime if you eliminate distractions. Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to say that again. Your willpower doesn't have to work overtime if you eliminate distractions. Okay, so how do we do that? There's a ton of distraction blockers, but I audit my time. That's the biggest one for me. I audit it. There's a couple tools that we can use here, and I'll just jump through them, I guess, pretty quickly here, share them. I'll send these all in links as resources here, and then, we can jump into some Q&A or whatever Mike wants to do from there. So look at this, guys. First of all, set up a Calendly link. It's free. It means that you don't have to go back and forth with people to schedule your time. That is a dumb way to do business. If you don't have Calendly, sign up for this now. Give it to your clients as a link so they can book in time with you. Put these on your website so you don't have to keep scheduling with your clients. Calendly is a game changer when it comes to protecting your time. The next one I like, guys, is Toggle. Toggle is a tracking system. So if you want to be ruthlessly honest with yourself and really dictate and see what your week has been spent on, start tracking your time. You just click in here and you're like presenting something. Boom. And then you track it. I did this for a month from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed. And when I look back at it, it gave me some pretty interesting statistics that I was like, okay, well, I need to change that. So Toggle, again, this is a free tool. If you track your time, you can really get a clear idea of actually how it's being spent. Now, last couple of things I want to talk about, guys, is just the online stuff that I block out of my life. First one is a Chrome extension, the newsfeed eradicator. I do not let social media dictate what I'm looking at. So you can see I have this plugged in. If I go to Facebook right now, click on this, boom, no newsfeed. I don't see any bullshit. I don't see any politics. I don't see any dumb stuff that people are posting on here. I look at my notifications, I look at my DMs, check them, and I'm out. Same thing with Instagram, same thing with YouTube. I don't see anything that YouTube suggests to me. I see the things that I want to see and I go from there. So that is the newsfeed eradicator, guys. Game changer, because it's not pushing stuff in your face. The internet and the algorithms are not dictating what you're seeing now. You're the one taking control of that. You can get this for your phone as well, guys. It's called OneSec. I just did a video of this on my channel, so go and check this out. It's a huge one. And then the last one for me, guys, big one, oh shit, is Instapaper. This is free as well, guys. Highly recommend getting this. Why? Because how many things do you see that you stop to read, or you stop to look at, or you stop to take stock of, like all the time? If you like subscribe to Inman or whatever that looks like, we're always looking at things like, oh, well, I'm going to read this, you know. There might be an article that looks super interesting. What you can do now with Instapaper, guys, is click on this, boom, right here. Again, it's a plugin for Chrome right here. So you can have it right there. If it's like, cool, I'm going to read that later on, I'll just click on Instapaper. It saves it. When I go back to my Instapaper app here, instead of having to scroll through and remember what it was, it pulls it up right here. I use this for everything. You can send your emails to that, things you want to read later. You can send all sorts of things over to Instapaper. It's a great app. Like I said, it's super free. I highly, highly, highly recommend doing this, guys. But, you know, protecting your time against distractions is the biggest thing that you can do to be productive.